We now cross the threshold into Scorpio, leaving behind Libra's pursuit of public harmony to dive headfirst into the waters of deep psychological truth, shared power, and emotional transformation. Where Libra seeks balance through compromise, Scorpio demands absolute honesty through intensity. This sign governs the hidden undercurrents of life: vulnerability, deep trust, shared finances, and the courage to face our shadows to catalyze real rebirth. Scorpio's journey through the 30 degrees of its sign is divided into 3 distinct evolutionary chapters, or decans. Each one shifts the planet's core focus and energetic flavor. 1 degree to 10 degrees Scorpio, the first decan. This first decan represents Scorpio energy in its purest, most raw form. Ruled entirely by Pluto, the planet of rebirth, and Mars, the planet of drive, this degrees range is where your planets strip away pleasant social masks to look directly at what lies beneath the surface. It is a zone of immense willpower, laser-focused investigative instinct, and psychological survival. As a reminder for reading your chart, a planet sitting from 0.0 to 0.9 is read as 1 degree Scorpio, and a planet at exactly 9 is read as 10 degrees Scorpio. 1 degree Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a sightseeing bus filled with tourists. Symbol meaning: this degree marks the dramatic transition from Libra's public socialization into Scorpio's deep investigation of human nature. It represents a planet that acts as a sharp, curious observer of the collective landscape, learning to study human behaviors and social dynamics from a safe, detached distance before diving into the deeper waters. What the planets mean here. Sun, a deeply observant individual who loves exploring human behavior, cultural subcultures, or psychological trends, thrives in roles that require interviewing or analyzing people. Moon, recharges emotionally by quietly watching the world go by, possesses a natural curiosity about what makes people tick, keeping their own feelings protected. Mercury, an excellent mind for anthropology, sociology, or public opinion auditing, absorbs vast amounts of psychological data from their surroundings. Venus, attracted to partners from diverse backgrounds or those who share a love for exploring hidden gems, cultural history, and deep people watching. Mars, drive is channeled into exploring new psychological terrain, leading group expeditions, or investigating complex social structures. Jupiter, great fortune with travel industries, cultural research grants, documentary filmmaking, or mass sociology platforms. Saturn, overcoming an early hesitation to join the crowd, learning to observe public behavior with total clarity without absorbing other people's chaotic energy. 2 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a delicate perfume vial lies broken, releasing its subtle scent. Symbol meaning: this symbol represents the beautiful, irreversible release of hidden power, emotion, or memory through a moment of crisis. It highlights where a planet must experience a breaking of its hard outer shell so that its true, concentrated essence can pour out to influence and change the environment. What the planets mean here. Sun, a person of intense presence whose truest gifts, inner strength, and creative charisma are unlocked only after breaking through a major life bottleneck. Moon, emotionally hypersensitive, memories and deep feelings are easily triggered by sensory inputs, like scents or music, leading to profound emotional releases. Mercury, mind excels at writing highly evocative, poetic, or emotionally piercing content, can capture complex, lingering psychological moods perfectly in words. Venus, experiences deep, soul-stirring romances that involve a complete breaking down of emotional walls, values raw vulnerability over safety. Mars, channels physical energy into concentrated, explosive bursts, highly effective at breaking through deadlocks or forcefully clearing out stale situations. Jupiter, success found in the luxury perfume industry, aromatherapy practices, trauma release counseling, or high-end waste recycling systems. Saturn, facing an early fear of losing emotional control or breaking down, discovering that structural breakdowns are exactly what release your finest inner talents. 3 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a house-raising party in a small village. Symbol meaning: this degree represents the immense power of shared labor, community trust, and mutual survival. It shows where your planets realize that true security cannot be built alone. Instead, you must pool your resources, sweat, and trust with others to build an unshakable foundation. What the planets mean here. Sun, a powerful community builder, grassroots organizer, or collaborative project manager who excels at rallying people to build heavy, long-lasting structures. Moon finds deep emotional safety in a tightly knit, fiercely loyal inner circle or family network, loves hosting collaborative gatherings at home. Mercury, mind is geared toward collective financial planning, crowdsourcing mechanics, structural architectural coordination, or cooperative bylaws. Venus values deep loyalty and mutual support in love, attracted to practical, dependable partners who are ready to build a literal life and home together. Mars channels physical drive into intense group labor, barn raisings, construction projects, or managing heavy-duty cooperative tasks. Jupiter, exceptional luck with real estate syndicates, crowdfunding campaigns, building cooperatives, or securing major community development grants. Saturn, facing early challenges regarding a lack of resources or family support, learning the vital lesson of how to ask for help and build a reliable network. 4 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a youth holding a lighted candle in a devotional ritual. Symbol meaning: this is a degree of pure focus, spiritual initiation, and emotional devotion. It represents a planet that holds onto a single, sacred focus with absolute discipline, refusing to let the dark winds of the outside world blow out its inner conviction, focus, or loyalty. What the planets mean here. Sun, a deeply principled, intensely focused individual who lives with a sense of sacred mission, commands quiet respect through absolute dedication to their craft. Moon finds emotional peace in daily spiritual rituals, meditation, or sacred spaces, highly loyal and protective of their private emotional vows. Mercury, mind possesses extraordinary laser focus and concentration, ideal for long hours of deep research, spiritual theology, or studying highly complex esoteric systems. Venus loves with a fierce, absolute devotion that borders on the sacred, seeks a deep soul bond and values spiritual purity and total fidelity above all else. Mars, drive is silent, steady, and spiritually directed, channels energy into disciplined martial arts, sacred ritual work, or defending an ethical cause. Jupiter, great fortune with religious institutions, spiritual teaching platforms, managing sacred heritage sites, or publishing esoteric philosophies. Saturn, overcoming early tests of faith, doubt, or psychological darkness, discovering that holding on to your inner flame builds an unshakable character. 5 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a massive rocky shore resists the pounding of the canyon sea. Symbol meaning: this degree represents ultimate psychological resilience, emotional endurance, and unshakable boundaries. It highlights where your planets stand completely firm against massive external pressure, emotional storms, or public criticism, proving that your core self cannot be eroded. What the planets mean here. Sun, an incredibly tough, resilient leader or crisis manager who remains completely unmoved and calm while chaotic corporate or emotional storms rage around them. Moon, possesses an unyielding, rock-solid emotional defense system, highly capable of enduring extreme emotional stress without breaking down or losing poise. Mercury, mind is completely immune to public gaslighting, peer pressure, or emotional manipulation, stands fiercely by its own factual conclusions. Venus, demands rock-solid commitment and unshakable boundaries in relationships, loves with a deep stability that can weather any external family or life storm. Mars, physical energy and endurance are legendary, thrives in high-impact sports, extreme conditions, or defending defensive physical structures. Jupiter, success found in coastal engineering firms, maritime defense, high-stakes crisis consulting, or manufacturing structural safety materials. Saturn, confronting intense, repetitive hardships early in life, discovering that this continuous pounding has turned your character into pure diamond. 6 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a gold rush tears men away from their native soil. Symbol meaning: this symbol represents the fierce, driving power of ambition, desire, and chasing raw opportunity. It shows where a planet feels an intense inner hunger to seek out hidden treasures, mineral wealth, or high-stakes financial opportunities, even if it means leaving your comfort zone behind. What the planets mean here. Sun, a highly ambitious entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or resource hunter who willingly uproots their life to chase massive, high-reward opportunities. Moon, emotionally driven by a hunger for financial independence and resource security, can feel restless unless they are actively building an empire. Mercury, an exceptional intellect for speculating on markets, identifying undervalued assets, corporate headhunting, or mining complex data for profitable insights. Venus, attracted to highly ambitious, successful, or powerful partners, experiences relationship shifts that are heavily tied to moving for career opportunities. Mars, channels aggressive, passionate energy into highly competitive industries, sales targets, mining, or launching high-risk business startups. Jupiter, spectacular luck with gold/mineral mining investments, venture capital funds, corporate mergers, or finding literal hidden treasures. Saturn, overcoming an early phase of financial scarcity or greed, learning to master the laws of sustainable wealth creation without losing your soul. 7 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, deep-sea divers exploring sunken treasures. Symbol meaning: this is the ultimate degree of the psychological detective, the archaeologist, and the researcher. It highlights where your planets dive deep into the murky, subconscious waters of history or human nature to recover invaluable truths, lost secrets, or hidden resources that others are too afraid to look for. What the planets mean here. Sun, a brilliant investigative journalist, psychoanalyst, or deep-level researcher whose life purpose is to uncover hidden secrets and bring them to light. Moon, intuitively at home in the deepest, dark waters of the human psyche, possesses an innate understanding of trauma, secrets, and taboo subjects. Mercury, mind functions like sonar, exceptional for forensic accounting, cyber investigation, historical archaeology, or criminal psychology. Venus, fascinated by the deep, complex undercurrents of the partner's mind, seeks an intense psychological bond where no secret is kept hidden. Mars, channels physical energy into intense exploratory tasks, deep-sea exploration, cave diving, or working tirelessly to solve cold forensic cases. Jupiter, great fortune with marine archaeology funding, treasure hunting ventures, psychoanalytic research institutes, or forensic data recovery patents. Saturn, facing early fears of the unknown or hidden family secrets, discovering that your patient, methodical digging eventually uncovers life-changing wisdom. 8 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, the silvery moon shining over a beautiful lake. Symbol meaning: this degree represents a serene, magical moment of emotional clarity and reflection. After diving into the dark depths of Scorpio, this symbol shows where a planet learns to sit quietly, allowing the light of conscious awareness to illuminate your inner emotional landscape, turning intense feelings into pure peace. What the planets mean here. Sun, a magnetic, deeply charismatic person who projects a calm, soothing power, excels at creative arts, photography, or psychological healing fields. Moon, incredibly rich, deep, and intuitive emotional world, requires a peaceful, waterside environment or quiet nights to reflect and recharge their spirit. Mercury, mind is highly reflective, poetic, and psychic, excels at dream analysis, creative writing, photography, or listening deeply to others' unspoken feelings. Venus, loves with a quiet, hypnotic, and romantic depth, values peaceful, private dates by the water and a relationship filled with quiet emotional understanding. Mars, energy is smooth, fluid, and intuitive, channels physical drive into late-night creative projects, swimming, or practicing fluid martial arts like Tai Chi. Jupiter, exceptional luck with lakefront real estate investments, landscape photography, nighttime hospitality ventures, or running meditation retreats. Saturn, overcoming early emotional turbulence or cloudy thinking, learning to calm your mind until it can reflect objective truth like a still lake. 9 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a dental work procedure being performed. Symbol meaning: this symbol represents practical, necessary, and sometimes painful maintenance to correct deep-rooted issues. It shows where your planets must roll up their sleeves to drill through decay, fix structural vulnerabilities, and do the hard, uncomfortable work required to heal your life from the roots up. What the planets mean here. Sun, a precise, pragmatic healer, surgeon, or fixer who doesn't believe in band-aid solutions, steps into difficult situations to repair the actual root problem. Moon handles emotional crises with a calm, clinical pragmatism, willing to go through temporary emotional discomfort if it means achieving long-term psychological health. Mercury, mind cuts like a scalpel, exceptional for technical editing, deep structural auditing, dentistry, medical diagnostics, or debugging broken software codes. Venus demands absolute honesty and structural integrity in relationships, willing to have difficult, intense conversations to fix a relationship's core issues. Mars channels sharp, hyper-precise energy into surgical arts, manual mechanics, dental medicine, or aggressively clearing out structural weaknesses. Jupiter, success found in operating dental clinics, manufacturing specialized medical instruments, corporate restructuring consulting, or orthodontics. Saturn, facing an early fear of physical pain or dental/medical settings, mastering the discipline required to maintain your structural health and personal boundaries. 10 degrees Scorpio. The Sabian symbol, a fellowship supper reunites old comrades. Symbol meaning: this is the degree of absolute loyalty, surviving shared battles, and the deep bonds formed through time. It represents a planet that finds its highest meaning in honoring lifelong friendships, celebrating shared survival, and trusting those who have stood by you in the trenches. What the planets mean here. Sun, a fiercely loyal brother, sister, or leader whose career and personal life are anchored by long-term alliances and trusted business partnerships built over decades. Moon, deeply sentimental and protective of old friends, emotionally nourished by reunions, remembering shared history, and maintaining lifelong social bonds. Mercury, mind acts as the historian of the group, exceptional for organizing veteran associations, running alumni networks, or writing about shared historical struggles. Venus, attracted to childhood sweethearts, old flames, or friends who have proven their loyalty over time, values history and mutual respect above all else. Mars, channels energy into defending old comrades, organizing veteran support systems, or working tightly within long-trusted business partnerships. Jupiter, great fortune with veteran affairs consulting, corporate alumni funding networks, high-end private supper clubs, or historical society foundations. Saturn, facing early experiences of isolation or losing touch with peers, discovering later in life that your truest, most unbreakable bonds are forged through time and shared trials. Subscribe, like, and share.